Hello everybody, welcome back. Today is May 19th of 2020 and we're reviewing Unit 8. So in our previous video, we went over, while reviewing Unit 8, we went over identifying occupation, and we talked about simple past of be, the word was and were. And now today what we're gonna do, and this is part 1 of today's video, part 1. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go over simple present tense word can. So how do we use the word can, right? The first thing is we use the word can to talk about ability, right? So here I have a sentence and it says, I can cook. I can cook. That means that I have the ability to cook, right? I have the ability to cook. And another sentence could be, I can sing. I have the ability to sing. So the word can we use to talk about abilities. Another usage is to give permission. Give permission. An example here, she can drive my car. So I am giving her the ability, the permission to drive my car. She can drive my car. My car. So I'm giving her permission. Or it could be, he can help, let's say, okay, let's do this. He can help Mike do his homework. He can help Mike do his homework. So I'm telling this person, I'm giving him permission to help Mike do his homework. Right? So the word can we use to in this context. So there are many more usage other than just talking about abilities and permission. But we are in Unit 8. We're only going to talk about 2 things. So giving permission and talking about abilities. So here, as you can see, how do we use it in a sentence? We just use the word can plus the verb. So as you can see, I can cook, she can drive. So we use can, and verb right here, drive, verb is cook. It's that simple. So now let's go over some more sentences. So here we have something called affirmative and negative. So another word for affirmative is positive. Positive. It's the opposite of negative. So negative, negative. Affirmative is positive. Plus sign, negative sign. So let me go over the examples. So I can treat patients. I have the ability to treat patients. Right? That's something that's called affirmative statement. Something positive. But what if I say, I can't drive a truck? I can't drive a truck. That means that I don't have the ability to drive a truck. If I can't do something, that's negative, right? And that's for the subject pronoun I. And for he, she, it, here I'm going to use the subject he. So he can teach students. He has the ability to teach students. He can't cook. He doesn't have the ability to cook. So affirmative and negative. And last one, we have the plural subject, they. They can play tennis. They have the ability to play tennis. They can't speak Spanish. They don't have the ability to speak Spanish. So these are the examples for the affirmative statements, which is positive, and these are the negative statements. And then another thing I want you to notice is that here, when we see this, so here, I can treat patients. Based on this sentence, what's the occupation? I can treat patients. So we're talking about abilities, right? Who has the skills or abilities to treat patients? Treat patients. If you think about it, it could be a nurse or a doctor, right? Doctor, the occupation doctor, their skills require them to be able to treat patients. Same as nurses. What about this one? He can teach students. He can teach students. What's the occupation? Who has the ability to teach students? Teach students. Teachers. Teachers have the ability to teach students, right? And then here, and here now, since these are the statements, statements that are created with the word can. Now we are able to also make questions using the word can. So here, so if we have a statement, same thing, I can treat patients. How do we turn it into a question? We just have to change, replace the subject and the word can. We have to just replace them, both of them. So here, the subject goes here, and the word can goes at the beginning of the sentence. So I can treat patients, and if I want to turn that into a question, it's going to become, can you treat patients? Can you treat patients? Another way of thinking is, I'm saying, do you have the ability to treat patients? That's what question is trying to say. Do you have the ability to treat patients? And same thing, if I were to turn this into this affirmative sentence, they can play tennis, into a question, I would say what we have to do, we have to put the can in the beginning of the sentence and bring the subject before the word can. So it would be after, sorry. So it would be, can they play tennis? Can they play tennis? That's how easy it is to make the question. So now we're done with the simple present tense, the word can. And what we're gonna do is we're going to do some exercises related to what we've learned in while reviewing Unit 8. So we're gonna include occupation, the simple past of be, so was and were, and finally simple present tense, the word can. Okay? Okay, so here we have the exercises for Unit 8 review. So here, this is going to be a question or an exercise for identifying occupation. So I have names of different occupations, and I want you to match the skills and the workplace that they're going to be at, depending on the occupation. Okay? And then for this exercise here, we have write questions. So I give you the occupation, the name of the occupation, and based on the statement here, you're going to come up with a question related to that occupation. For this exercise, it says answer the questions. So it's the opposite from this one, where I give you the name of the occupation, but then it comes with the question. So you have to you have to answer this question now. And finally, here it says make questions. In this exercise, you just need to arrange the words so it becomes a complete question. Okay? So I want you to pause the video and try to complete this exercise. And then once you're done with all of them, we will go over together. Okay? So first, pause the video, try to solve all this on your own, and then once you're done, resume the video and we're gonna go over it together. Okay? So now, assuming that you're done, we're going to go over this together. Okay? Okay, so let's go over the identifying occupation. So for the occupation, we have hairstylist, server, office worker, housekeeper, mail carrier, and childcare worker. So hairstylist, what kind of abilities do they have? Let's think about it. So we go over the skill. Here we have works with computer, cleans rooms, takes orders, takes care of children, cuts hair, delivers mails. Based on the skills, we can say number 5 is for hairstylist. What does a hairstylist do? They cut hair, right? So here for the skill, it's number 5. And we can cross it out. And where do they work? Hairstyle usually worked. We have a beauty salon, daycare center, hotel, office, restaurant, post office. And we can see that the places of work for a hairstylist is at beauty salon. So 1. That will be the correct answer. Occupation server. Server, what do they do? Server, they usually take orders. They serve food. They serve drinks. And then, so what's related to that? Let's go over the skills. Works with computer, cleans rooms, takes orders right there. So we have number 3 for the skill. And where do they usually work? They usually work at a restaurant. Or some kind of, it could be a restaurant. Oh no, it is a restaurant, sorry. So let's go over daycare center, hotel, office, restaurant. Number 5. So that's the answer. We can cross this out. Guess I'll use this. So we can cross this out. Office worker. What's their occupation? Cleans rooms. Oh, here, sorry. I need to cross this out as well. Works with computer, cleans rooms, takes. So I don't think it's number 4, 6, 2. So it's 1. Works with computer. So office worker can work with computer. And the place that they work is, it says, I mean, there's a big hint, office worker. So the place that they work should be at an office. So number 4. Housekeeper, what do they do? So I can close this out. So we have 2, 4, and 6. Delivers mails, takes care of children, cleans rooms. Based on that, housekeeper, they usually clean hotel rooms, right? So number 2. And the place is, we have 2, 3, and 6. Daycare center, hotel, and post office. And hotel it is. Hotel. So 3. Mail carrier. Name of the occupant. There's a big hint. Mail carrier. So what do? They deliver mails. So it delivers mails. Number 6. So if you're kind of confused with my pronunciation here, so basically these are the skills. It's for a single person. So one person. So he delivers mails. She delivers mails. So if I say a housekeeper delivers mails, right? Oh, so a housekeeper cleans rooms. That's what I meant. Okay, so 6 is for mail carrier, and then here you usually see a mail carrier working at a post office. So post office, 6. So 6 and 6. Then finally, we just have to go over what's left. We have then number 4. Takes care of children. Who does that? Childcare worker. So 4. And then finally, we have number 2 here left. So 2. Daycare center. So this is the these are the answers for the identifying occupation exercise. And now, hold on a second. Okay, now we're gonna go over this exercise. So here, write questions. Number 1, we have the occupation servers, and the statement here was no, they weren't. They were office workers, and we have to use this to make a question. So here it says no. So the subject is they. They weren't. So it's negative. They were office workers. So when we're talking about was and were, we're trying to talk about something in the past, right? So it says no, they weren't. So in the past, they're not something that we thought they were. So here, and as I told you, we have to use this occupation to make the question. And then here I said they were office workers. So apparently they were not servers. So that's why it says no, they weren't. So in order to, so this is the question that we make. So subject is going to be the same, and then we have to use, because this is plural, we have to use the word were instead of was. So were they, and then we have to ask this particular occupation. So were they servers before? Before means also past. Were they servers before? No, they weren't. They were office workers. So that would be the correct answer, correct question. And now the occupation nurse. No, he wasn't. He was a doctor. Subject is a he. And then he was a doctor. So in the past, he was a doctor instead of the nurse. So the question we have to ask is, so it's a one person. The subject is a he. So we have to use was. So was he a nurse before? No, he wasn't. He was a doctor. Okay? So, and then the second exercise here, answer the questions. So this time we have the manager. And then we had the question, so we had to come up with answers. Was he a cashier before? So was he a cashier in the past? And then it said the name of occupation is manager. So we have to say no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was a manager. It's the exact same. It's pretty much the same exercise, but we're just doing the opposite way. So now we have number 2. The occupation is students, more than one. So were they teachers before? Were they? They were teachers before. And then they were students. So no, they were students. So this is a more simpler way of saying it. Instead of making 2 sentences, no, he wasn't. He was a manager. Here I'm just using 1 sentence to explain everything. No, they were students. Okay? And the final exercise, make questions. So I wanted you to arrange the words to make a question. So here we have work with, computer, she, and can, and question mark. And if we arrange it, it should be, can she work with computers? Remember I said if you want to make a question with the word can, and it needs to be at the front of the sentence. And then behind that would be the subject. And then behind the subject will be the verb. So can, here we have the subject she, and with the verb work, with computer. And for this one, Spanish, they can speak and here is one phrase here. A truck, question mark, drive. And then if we rearrange it, can, remember it's at the beginning of the sentence, we have the subject they. Can they speak is a verb, right? Spanish, here, and because it's and, we have to tell them another a verb or ability that they can do. So, and drive a truck, question mark. Can they speak Spanish and drive a truck? That'll be the correct question for this exercise. So we finished reviewing Unit 8, and this was part 1 of today's video, May 19th of 2020. So in part 2, we're going to begin with Unit 9. Okay? Alright, thanks for watching.